The South African National Parks is urging hikers to hike in groups and obey safety instructions. This comes after an American tourist was found dead on Devil's Peak at Table Mountain National Park. JP Louw is SANParks' head of communications and joins me now. JP, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks very much for your time. Such incidents as the one I have just mentioned don't bode well for tourism. They give South African tourism a very bad name, isn't it?
Yes, good afternoon, Vuyo, and thank you also for having us on your show. Well, I mean, of course, any incident which is this unfortunate is not good to be a story that gets associated with yourselves and as a brand, as a country. But also, we should be very careful about picking an incident like this and then wanting to say that such may not even occur anywhere else around the world. You know, you have national parks right across the world, and all kinds of incidents get recorded in all of this. What is more important, I would emphasize, is whether on our own part, of course, we try to take care, and the extent to which we really make a point, like we're doing on your show now, to appeal to many who visit our parks to really be in partnership with us in making sure that there are no safety concerns that we have to be concerned about later. And also at the same time, of course, for everybody who come to the parks as a visitor, to adopt that attitude of that I'm here to enjoy the natural and even at times the cultural heritage that we all own, and then also play your part in making sure that you are certainly indeed safe.
Yeah, but I mean, Table Mountain is one of, the most sought after destinations, in this country. So one incident of this nature is one too many.
I completely agree with you. I mean, we would preferably want to have like zero level of incidences. But Table Mountain National Park, you must remember, is also in the city. And the city itself, and in South Africa, it's no unknown fact that something like crime is a challenge that we all are faced with, that we need to deal with. But you see, Vuyo, again, if the conversation ends there, itself doesn't reflect the picture. About a year ago, we were talking about double digits in terms of the criminal elements that you find on Table Mountain National Park. Right now, the numbers are within the single digits. I mean, even in some months, we've only had one incident, other months even up to about 3 and so on. But like you correctly say, there's one too many. But certainly what it tells us is that the strategies we're employing are working. Our partnership model, where we work with the South African police, we work with the city of Cape Town, we work with civic groups who are even now involved in discussions about formalizing how we make sure that civic groups can partner with us, and that way we increase boots on the ground. I mean, the Department of Tourism, for example, has allowed us, as a volunteer to us, and funded the provision of tourism monitors, as they are called. So all kinds of different efforts are being made to make sure that we clamp down on criminal elements. We are looking at the appointment of staff. We've set up a specialized team, a very, very renowned team that's called the SIM team, that's been doing excellent work. We have a K9 unit, dogs that also do marvelous work. We're looking at investing in technology. So all type of investments are being made to make sure that we do reach the level of zero level of crime. But as I'm saying, in looking at those things, we should also not talk of a place like Table Mountain National Park as if it's some sort of utopian institution that exists in a vacuum. It is surrounded by an urban area, and the kind of challenges you have within the city, some of them filter into the park. A big part of this park doesn't have a fence. Right? This is an open access park. So it means somebody can commit a crime in the city and run into the park. And sometimes they are within the park, and then, of course, they are very difficult to find because the park has so many entry and access points.
But you see, the question is whether those initiatives are indeed in place and working. And here's why I'm asking. Over a week ago, I had someone on the program who is involved in the RMB Ultra Trail Cape Town, who was also, we were talking about how 2023, 2024, you have had many incidents of muggings on popular hiking trails. You have had break-ins, thefts from vehicles in parking areas. Now, those things look together with what prompted this conversation should be of concern.
Yeah. But we must be factual, though, as we say these things as well. And this is really part of the appeal we've been making very strongly. I'm telling you statistically, and this is publicly available and verifiable stats that are telling you that we've moved from the double digits to the single digits this year in terms of criminal incidences. I'm not sure if your guest, for example, was reflecting just on what happens on Table Mountain National Park or also what's happening within the city. And that's why I was really trying to draw your consciousness to the fact that we are surrounded by the urban area. This is the one thing that's probably but very different about Table Mountain National Park compared to a number of the other 20 functional parks that we manage, which most of them are but of more remote area, even in rural areas, and not always so very close to places where people are staying, like in urban areas, like the city of Cape Town. So I'm not sure if what you were told includes what happens in our park and as well as in the city. But what I can tell you from our end is that the interventions we've been doing has been showing results, and it tells us that this is the road to follow, that the path that we're on.
Let's hope that indeed they do show those results, because Table Mountain, but also the rest of the parks, are way too precious given the role they play in our economy for us to lose the tourists we so desperately need. JP Louw, thank you very much for your time.